Hello and welcome to the Cute Baby Tutorials using Gimp. I may do a few things in this video, so if you want to go straight to one of the main sections, then the times they start are shown on your screen now. These videos are also available in higher definition on my website, along with any original files I'm allowed to give you in case you want to work on the same image as me. Just click on the link below. Okay, here we go. And here's a very sweet picture, bedtime stories. You can tell what's wrong with this photograph. We've got two demon children here looking at the red eyes. What happens there is that if you take a photograph with a flash, especially on the modern compact cameras where the flash is very close to the actual lens, you get the light going into the eyes, bouncing off the blood cells at the back of the eyes and coming straight back out at you, so you get this very red kind of image. Well, the good news is we can fix that fairly easily. Let's do the usual thing. Come up to the Layers palette, click on a folder, call it Fix, take my image, duplicate it, call it Base, and click and drag that into the Fix folder. And we're ready to go. Well, there is a tool for this. Go to Filters, Enhance, and Redeye Removal. Now, one very nice thing about Gimp is that you can resize the window. I'm going to zoom right in on those eyes. Let's take a look at those. Let's get those in the picture. There. Right, so you've got this little slider here called Threshold. Let's start sliding it up, sliding it up. The more you slide it, the more Gimp takes a look and says, right, well, I'll take that red colour and I'll turn it black. Wow, that's way too much. Let's try about... Okay, we're starting to see a bit of a problem here. What the threshold does, takes a look at the picture and it says, right, well, if there's any images which are the kind of red I know I'm going to get with Redeye, I'll turn them darker. I'll make them grey, I'll turn them darker. But you can see the problem. Supposing I went with there, if I click on OK with that, all the red in the image has been affected. You can see I've got, what, black lips there. Let's click on Undo here. Undo Redeye Removal. And yeah, all this red stuff in the background got affected. So we're going to have to do something about that, which is straightforward enough. I'm zooming in, I'm holding down the Control or Command key using my middle mouse button and scrolling up. There. Now I'm going to come to my Free Select tool in the toolbox and I'm going to drag a selection around that part. Then I'm going to hold down my Shift key, which means I add to my selection. I can go really tight with this as well. I only need to affect the actual red eyes. Come across to here. Click on this part here. And keeping my hand on the Shift key. There. So now, Control or Command, middle mouse wheel, scroll down. I've got my selections. Now if I come back, I'll go to Filters, Reshow Redeye Removal. That'll make life quicker rather than going through all the menus. And sure enough, take a look at this. It's only showing the selected areas. I can take the threshold pretty much as high as I want. Click on OK. Then I'm going to come to Select, None. Look at my results. Alright, well that's turned it from red to black, but I've still got that rather shiny image there which I don't really want. Now I've zoomed in to show a problem here. Now instead of red eye, this little girl's got white eye. That's because Redeye Removal can take away the red, but it can't make intelligent decisions about where the highlight is on an eye or something like that. All it can do is correct the colour. So we need to make that look a little bit more natural. So I've got a choice. I can try coming over to the Paintbrush tool, set how transparent it is here using opacity. The size of it looks about right on the picture, and my colour is black, so let's give that a try. I'm starting to paint on there. Now you can see a bit of a problem here. I'd like to keep that highlight, but if I use the paintbrush, the whole area is getting smudged and getting dark and not looking very nice at all. So I'll come over to the Layers palette and click on this icon on the left, the Undo History. Well, the nice thing about this is, instead of just pressing Ctrl Z or undoing, I can go back a number of steps, in this case 2, because I put down the paintbrush twice. Go back to the Layers palette. So instead of the paintbrush, I'm going to come back to the toolbox and I'm going to use this tool, the Dodge Burn tool. Let's click on that and see what our options are. At the moment, it's set on Dodge. If I paint on something with the Dodge Paint tool, then whatever I paint on is going to appear lighter and the colours will appear to be more washed out. I don't want that. I want Burn. It's going to make whatever I paint on appear to be darker and more intense. But I've also got this bit here, shadows, midtones, highlights. I'm going to go with the midtones, not the highlights, midtones, and I'll explain why in a second. And finally, exposure, well, that's like the opacity part of a brush. This controls how strong the paint stroke is. I'm going to take this down to about, say, 50% for this. And I'm going to come over to my eye, and I'm going to start making strokes. Now, I'm painting over the whole area of the pupil here, but because I'm using midtones and not highlights, the midtones are affected, but the highlights, you can see, aren't being affected by this brush. That's what I wanted. Come over to the other one and start painting out that kind of middle grey area which was really ruining the shot, and I've turned it to a black colour. Let's zoom out with this. Take a look at this. Normally, I would do a bit more work on that. I would try and make it look a little bit more natural, but we're short on time here. Let's compare that with the original. Okay, Redeye. More natural highlights going on there. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, maybe you consider clicking on one of the links below and check out my game called Disco Baby, which is on the iTunes Store or Android stores like Google Play. It has 3 different games in it, a memory game, a maths game for children, and a dance along with me game for toddlers to join in with. Thanks for your time.
Yeah.